For Shaniac Schleger, poker took him from a restaurant in Brooklyn to the Baja Coast in Mexico and everywhere in between. A passion for writing and a long career in live and online poker have given Shane one of the most widely read poker blogs on the internet. The game didn't always come easily, and at one point he considered leaving the poker life behind. But a big score in the Sunday Million turned everything around.
When I started playing poker in 2004, I was waiting tables at a Brooklyn restaurant. I never would have guessed that 7 years later, I would be on the Baja Peninsula in Mexico playing poker tournaments all day on the internet. My daily life in Mexico is focused around a fairly tight routine. I wake up in the morning, brew coffee, shower, try to do a little exercise, and then I devote my energy to grinding poker tournaments. So how did a waiter from Brooklyn wind up being an online poker pro in Mexico?
When I was 17, I had a piece published in a New York newspaper called the New York Press. And at the time I thought, well, I've sort of like got it going on and I've got these great options and I can become a writer and I don't really need to like follow any system or any path that was mapped out for me and I can just do it on my own. So I decided not to go to college and basically just to try to write, but not having any idea what it took to become a success as a writer. So what really wound up happening is I sort of just let my writing ambitions slack off. I wound up sort of just like drifting along in my early 20s, and like I wound up working as a bike messenger in office jobs, waiting tables, bussing tables, and that sort of characterized like a long stretch in my early to mid 20s where I was just like depressed and lost and just like a broke New Yorker. I didn't have any clear direction or aspirations like I once had. And then poker came along.
Like a lot of poker players, I was in the right place at the right time when the poker boom happened, and I worked my last shift at the restaurant in Christmas of 2004.
Hey guys, Kim here with Shane the Shaniac.
In 2005, I moved to Los Angeles, which had always been a sort of dream for a kid from New York. For years, I traveled the world playing live poker tournaments, living well, and enjoying a lot of new experiences.
When I was younger, all I wanted to do was travel and chill and eat well, and smoke well. And that's what I get to do now.
It was an amazing time to be a poker player and one of the happiest times of my life. In fact, I had no idea at the time just how good I had it.
I feel like for the first several years of my poker career, all I did was squander opportunities in terms of just taking it all for granted. The money that I was making, it just seemed to come too easy in some ways. There was a level of sloppy thinking that characterized how I approached poker, and that wound up holding me back in the years to come.
By 2010, my passion for the game was wavering. The poker boom was a few years past its prime, my results were disappointing, and I was losing the ambition and confidence necessary to succeed as a poker player.
It felt like I had lost my soul as a poker player. Whatever it was that made me a confident poker player had just like disappeared. And I feel like with the way things unfolded after that, I kind of learned that you almost have to be willing to give up something in order to get it.
It was just after Thanksgiving that I dabbled in poker again, albeit in the most casual, recreational way possible. I decided to spend my Sunday at a friend's house, one tabling the Sunday Million on PokerStars.
And it wound up, 12 hours later that I was at the final table of that tournament. And I took fifth for a $50,000 score. Making the final table that day turned everything around. It was a huge turning point in my poker career.
It felt great to finally win again, and it instantly rekindled my passion for the game. But what happened next was totally unexpected.
When I got the call that I was being considered for Team Online, I was elated. I was so grateful for the opportunity, considering where I had been just a few months before. And it was sort of like a great metaphor for how poker can be. You can really, you can not only go from being at a very high point to a very low point quickly, but you can be picked up from a very low point to a very high point very quickly. And this just felt like the cap to the end to a fairy tale. When 2011 started, it was just like game on. Getting signed to Team Online was now my chance to start new and to start like making good decisions and to start being a good poker player, a good professional.
This time I felt aware of how good I had it, and I set out into 2011 with an unparalleled amount of optimism. And then everything changed. On April 15th, 2011, the U.S. Department of Justice effectively ended online poker in America.
I remember those first few hours of just not even knowing what that meant, or just a little while, and then it quickly became clear that we were not going to be able to play on PokerStars anymore.
The universe I had inhabited full-time since 2005 had suddenly disappeared, and once again I felt completely lost.
And all that momentum that I had going for me just came to a screeching halt. All that disciplined, determined, organized energy that I had now felt like it had nowhere to go, and it was just like a cruel joke.
When someone attacks your existence, the thing that makes you what you are, you find ways to fight it, to carry on, and to survive. I knew I had to fight to preserve and continue what I was working towards, regardless of what that required. And so, I moved to Mexico.
Porque cantando se alegra cielito lindo los corazones. Ay, ay, ay,
Poker has taken me on a long, strange journey with many ups and downs along the way. But I'm aware, maybe now more than ever, how lucky I am that poker came into my life. What started as a passion for a game turned into a lifestyle and a career, and poker has taken me places I never thought I could go and allowed me to experience life in a variety of incredible ways. I hope to one day play again on PokerStars from my home in Los Angeles. But in the meantime, doing it here, a few hundred feet away from the Pacific Ocean in Mexico, isn't so bad.
los corazones. ¡Viva México!